For 5,711 days, millions of YouTubers have clashed personality and wit. They've done Let's Plays, they've eaten food, discussed controversy, shared music, created skits, and most importantly, commentary. These warriors served as beacons for those who lost their light, or were just bored, climbing mountains and falling through glass. They fought themselves, and each other, to create one thing. That thing? Content. Now, content exists in many different sizes and forms. Some good, some bad, and a lot mediocre. In any case, it has been around so long that you can pretty much find any type of video you could imagine. Content is what drives the world, whether you're an adult or a 9-year-old. At least that's what I think, because you need a little bit of that sustenance to keep you wanting to live after a 9 to 5. Or maybe you got a little too mad and threw your phone a little too hard and now there's a hole in the wall. The point is, you can find anything with the keystroke, and there's just so much anything lying around. What kind of anything? Linus can show you the difference between 30 FPS and 360. PewDiePie might make you chuckle. Maddie makes you wish you could unhear the last few minutes of your life.
Witch in all of the forest.
And Filthy Frank makes you wish you could go back in time. After surfing video platforms for so long, I've stumbled upon so much talent, hard work, and love that it's impossible not to be influenced. I hate the word, but I would be lying if I said I didn't look up to so many creators for their creativity and wit. In this video, I will be complimenting the most influential creators that have ever made me smile. It's time to go back in time. No. Okay, this looks about right. I didn't really spend much time online when I was growing up. I was too busy playing outside or on a console game. And when I did go online, it was because someone was showing me a really weird video. Or I was just sneaking onto the family computer to play Adventure Quest. When I turned 11 years old, my family moved to a rural community where there was nothing to do but talk to goats and explore a government-owned forest. Before I met my best friend who lived decently close by, life was extremely boring and my parents wanted me and 2 of my sisters to grow up without phones, internet, or TV. Eventually they found things to do, and I found some things. Okay, maybe not. Eventually, after so many weekend trips into the city to help my grandfather with something or another, I promptly asked the older sister to take me to Walmart, and there I bought a tablet for $40, and those were the best $40 I've ever spent. My best friend told me about the magic numbers on the back of the big glowing box, and I had control of everything. The speed of the magic web was extremely slow, but I was set. The first thing I did was install Fruit Ninja, and then uninstall Fruit Ninja. The second thing I did was install YouTube. But I had never used the YouTube app before. Who do I watch from all these crazy looking people? And then I remembered my friend talking about a certain game about securing, containing, and protecting.
Son of a bitch, you're useless. Fat sack of crap. That's what you are.
Markiplier was the first person I ever watched on a daily basis. I wasn't allowed to have access to the internet, but with any chance I got, I would hide behind my bedroom door in order to watch a man express his thoughts about games that blew my mind. In my eardrums. No! At first I wanted to watch the game and I didn't really like commentary, but this man was so interested in anything. He was so detailed.
Fear of getting nicked while shaving, or people named Nick, or Old Saint Nick, which I am very scared of.
So it was like I was learning something about him, the game, and myself at the same time. There were similar YouTubers back then, but they either scared me or made me feel like my brain was being microwaved. As Mark grew, he started branching out with other creators.
You really are not easing me into this whole Gary's mod thing.
What, do you want to play with me? Do you want to play with me? Why aren't you looking at me?
Why are you looking at me? I have super sensitive nips. Nice.
Good job, okay?
I feel better now.
Markiplier continued to grow, and he became so passionate about Let's Playing, I think he ultimately became the best at it for the longest time. He'd talk about how he would do it his whole life to get better and better at entertaining his subscribers, until eventually he broke the ceiling. He was always thankful for the experiences his fans allowed him to have, and he would return the favor with inspirational videos, and he would sharpen his content into the atmosphere. This isn't a video on why I loved Markiplier so much though, so let's get into the next creator. My middle school library had 6 computers where a group of outcasts bonded over Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Minecraft, and a Russian game called Tanky Online for some reason. Each of us would always try to be one of the 6 to get a computer for lunch break, and if you didn't get a computer, you were egging someone on in their game or activity. The librarian hated our guts. Someone caught my eye one day when she wasn't using the computer for our usual sacred ceremonies. She was watching Princess Peach beat the everlasting toadstools out of Zelda. She was watching Death Battle. Immediately I was consumed by the need to binge every episode of Death Battle ever made. Finally I had the chance to see what would happen if my favorite characters from different franchises were to fight. Most fights fascinated me. Some disturbed me, and others just pissed me off. To this day, Death Battle manages to piss me off, and in short, that's why it's so influential to me.
What we do here is go back.
I can't say Edward Watermelon Hands, Hair Cake, Chin Chin, or the infamous PewDiePie tattoo without grinning. Possibly the most influential group to ever exist on YouTube. Mofo Idubbbz, Filthy Frank, and Anything for Views are responsible for the greatest shameless humor and the best questionable content to ever exist on the platform. I remember going nuts for their satire, comedy, and skits when I was younger, and today I don't think I'll ever see anything quite like it again. It's not all sad in memories though. Mofo makes more content than he ever did before. Joji is a very successful singer and songwriter, and Chad has the best podcast I've ever seen.
The sauce into his drink.
No, what do you got? No, this isn't Filthy Frank days, bro. I'm not being tortured for views,
You're above
man.
that now, are ya? You get set on fire once, now you're fucking...
Oh, fine, I'll sip the juice. I'll sip the juice.
It's actually the first podcast that I was able to sit through the entirety of. It's like all of these playful personalities just grew up. At some point in my life, I decided I wanted to try my hand at content too. You could say I was influenced. There was just too much good stuff to pass up. Even if I didn't know the difference between a DisplayPort and an HDMI, I would be fine, right?
Welcome to the WAN Show, guys, the weekly show where we talk about all kinds of things to do with My Little Pony, the latest furry trends, and of course, whatever's on sale at Hot Topic.
And that's where NCIX came in, right before I jumped Linus Tech Tips. I remember staying up late after work in high school, watching Linus and Luke fumble upon the innards of a computer for the 100th time. I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing before my best friend lent me an old rig of his, which I promptly broke. It's a long story. Anyway, Linus taught me almost everything there is to know about putting together a desktop PC, and I would not be where I am today without his channel. I've watched Penguin Z ever since the first hair appeared on my chest. Should you watch Critical? Do you ever feel the need to see asshole wrestling or vagina smelling candles, but don't have the balls to do it alone? He's your guy. His commentary varies from serious movie reviews to totally wacky discovery that I can watch at any time. Lunch break, Critical. Taking a shit, Critical. Girlfriend that I don't have yet, dog dies. Critical. The big moist has never let me down. Anyway, that's it. See ya. Have you ever wanted to discuss confusing feelings, love, or disgust you had for a movie? A confusing love, or a disgust so great you needed to talk to someone about it, but nobody seemed to care. Your movie sucks cares. Adam will sit you down and talk to you about the differences between The Lion King and Kimba for days. This is one of my favorite channels for the expert commentary, and he goes unusually in depth with his movie discussions. He can go from laid back to hyper intense in a heartbeat, and he's one of the most honest creators I have ever watched. It's impossible not to watch every one of his videos, and I often get to learn about movies worth watching that I would never have known about. I can't imagine the amount of work he put into getting where he is today, but it wasn't luck that brought him there. Many creators often fade out or completely change over time, but there are some who stay true to themselves and to their audience no matter what. Jacksepticeye has aged like fine Guinness. Sean Mclovins is a pretty awkward subject for me. One day he'd be bearable and full of energy. Other days he'd make my brain hurt.
Top of the morning to you ladies, my name is Jackson!
I had to be in the right mood to watch him, and it took a lot of getting used to in the first place. But he had the same spark that drew me to other YouTubers. Nowadays he's a lot more chill and bearable, but the reason I have him on this list is because of the deep respect I have for him as a creator. He knows his original subscribers like to see him play, and so he remains faithful to them instead of changing entirely to benefit from the YouTube algorithm. Not that reinventing yourself is a bad idea, he does that. He does all that. But he maintains his roots, and that's why I love him so much. In my opinion, it was definitely easier finding entertaining channels a few years ago when I was younger, but there will always be creators waiting in the future to leave me enchanted. Two creators that have been influential to me recently are Some Ordinary Gamers and It's a Gundam. I've been watching these two creators for about a year or two now, and they've both provided me so many ways to vent without actually venting. They both also have different hobbies to fall back on, which I enjoy watching both of. I do fear for Gundam a little bit.
You are the most beautiful.
PewDiePie is the grease fire that has always been in the back of my mind. He's the biggest, most enduring, and fluctuating creators I have ever witnessed, and I used to hate him. For my 12-year-old eyes, he was the competition for my holy Lord and Savior Markiplier. He had to go down. I used to judge him so harshly just because he was popular, and I thought being a hipster was cool back then. I learned. As my eyes grew older, I realized how immature that myself and that mindset were, and Felix really started to grow on me. One thing led to another, and I was binging all of his old content, and that's when the media attacked. PewDiePie was thrown into one controversy after another in what felt like an ongoing train wreck, but that train wreck kept on going and didn't stop, and I was on that train. His whole fan base was on the train. We believed in him. And after the onslaught, we felt so much closer to the personality behind PewDiePie, and he had a crucial metamorphosis. Or 5. PewDiePie's hard work and dedication is bar none. As much as I want to cover every single creator who has ever made me laugh, there's only so much I can do in a video. I could cover your whole screen with honorable mentions and that wouldn't even be enough, but here are some at the very least. I also wanted to give a shout out to all of my friends and subscribers on YouTube. I love watching your content and hearing your feedback. I think you are all very talented and unique in your own ways. I've seen your videos, and with enough dedication, I think you'll gain the attention of the world eventually. You are yet another reason why I love doing this as a hobby, and I will always look back on these memories as I grow older and cherish the time I spent with you. You influence me right now. That is why you more than deserve to be in this video. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. I didn't want to make it a top 10 creators video because content is subjective, just like art, and there's just so much out there that I haven't seen yet. These are just ways a couple of people have helped me out in my life. Everyone listed here in this video is a role model, and I missed a lot too, I'm sorry. I strive to be as compassionate and caring as them in my everyday life, whether I'm talking to someone at work or just a friend in general. Thank you for watching, and we'll meet again in the next contingency.